Hey, what's up guys? Michael from Karate Breakdown here with another video on common karate techniques that are kind of misunderstood or common misconceptions on karate techniques. Today we're looking at one saying that I always tell people when I talk about self-defense versus sports. Just to let you know, I am a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I competed a lot, did kickboxing, smokers, I've done Jiu-Jitsu tournaments. And one big thing, and people hate to say it, but one big thing is that karate techniques, when done right, are one, against the rules and also potentially very dangerous. And you see this in MMA as well. You're not allowed to do small joint manipulation, which karate has tons of. The dirty stuff, fish hooks, eye pokes, stuff like that. What people misunderstand is like those things aren't fight enders per se, but they will get you out of a bad situation. And that's huge. My old sensei always talked about disengaging the thought process, meaning if someone's super intent on choking you, if you go for an eye or go for a fish hook or pinch something or pressure point, it'll get their mind off of that intention for a split second so that you can do the technique that actually works, right? Do the jiu-jitsu technique that you know, do the sport self-defense technique that you know. It's not about, hey, someone has me in a rear naked choke, I'm gonna go for their eyes and that's gonna finish the fight. No, and going for someone's eyes, it's gonna make them turn their head, it might make them loosen up their choke. Honestly, it might backfire and make them choke harder, but it's gonna cause a reaction regardless. A lot of times if they're caught by surprise, that reaction might be enough for you to do the standard escapes. Tuck your chin, grab the forearm, make sure you get the hooks off, disconnect their chest from their back, all the right things that you do afterwards. It's a lot easier to do once you do some dirty stuff, or for us karate guys, some regular stuff. And that goes into another point. I always think about sports as like making things harder for the sake of the rule set. And what I always tell people is sport is about learning how to go around things. And self-defense is learning how to go through things and neutralize the threat. And an easy example for that I always bring up is like an arm drag. I've talked about this in other videos before, but you think a regular wrestling arm drag or an arm drag you do in jiu-jitsu, your goal is to go around your opponent, control that arm so that it's not a barrier or a stiff arm keeping your torso away from theirs. So you're trying to neutralize that arm, get that barrier out of the way, and then move your body around it or move them around that structure. Well, in self-defense, if that person's carrying a knife or something and you find yourself in that arm drag position, it would make sense to just snap the arm there. You're thinking about life or death. You're thinking about split-second decisions that could make or break your fight or end the fight. Why not just destroy the arm there, right? So then you look at all the kata movements that are in the clinch that are kind of circular, that are like your traditional middle blocks, and I have videos on this too. But you think about all your blocks as a way to break the limb, and we call this limb destruction, so that one, that limb cannot be used anymore, and two, you get closer to your opponent in fewer steps, right? The reason why jiu-jitsu is so interesting and so fun, and people call it human chess, because you are bound by rule sets. That's like a positive part of it and also a negative part of it as well, because now you're confined to the rule set. Yes, you can go 100 miles an hour, you go 100%, you get a great workout, you're going full pressure testing, but you are still confined to the rule set. Then it becomes a game of your opponent knows the steps to get to an armbar. Your job now is to counter those steps and recognize when those steps are happening. And if it's like a 10-step process, you break it at step 3, then they're unable to execute steps 4 through 10, right? But then once you add strikes involved, right? Once you add strikes to a grounded opponent, your steps 1 to 10 turns into steps 1, 2, and 3, right? Grab the arm, strike the face, get the arm bar. Makes it a lot more simple. You can't train it hard that way. People don't want to get smashed in the nose on a day-to-day basis, but that makes the game super easy. And then you run into this conundrum that's like, well, if I just train only self-defense and I only train for that, I'm not able to go 100% with full resistance, because then it's like, hey, it's implied that I hammer fisted you here for this armbar, so you need to react as if I did. Training like that, you're either overreacting, you're overcompensating for the lack of contact. There's all these things that you're like making exceptions for when you're not going full hard sparring 100%. With that said, finding the balance, and I always tell people train everything, train all the pressures, all the different percentages, because each of them will give you something valuable, something beneficial when you're training. 100% sparring, you can't do that 7 days a week, but you need that for sure. 10% sparring, It's nice to see good looks. It lets you be playful. It lets you experiment with things. It doesn't allow you to regret making mistakes. That's a big one. It allows you to try things and fail. And you're not punished as much for failing compared to 100% sparring. Those are just things to keep in mind. I'm going to try to get more of these videos out here. I know it's the holiday season. It's getting darker sooner. So there's all these excuses, but I'm going to try to get more videos out there. So keep an eye out for more. So one last thing, there's this Kickstarter that started for Impact Training Company. It's a dude named Jerry Hung. I've never met the guy. I've talked to him on Reddit. Funny story is, like, I saw him posting his concepts. Essentially, it's a backpack wearable punching bag that you could go hang and wrap around a tree so you could train outside anywhere. I saw this in passing while I was scrolling Reddit, and I just saw a lot of people kind of beat him up about it. Literally, I don't know the dude. I saw the product and I was like, hey, this is innovative. This is something that the martial arts community hasn't seen before. Somebody's putting themselves out there, putting their own money down to try to make a product for martial artists out there. I sent him a message on Reddit. We kind of chatted back and forth, and he was real cool about it. He actually let me edit one of his like trailer videos with a karate person. So that was pretty cool too. If you think it's cool, shoot him a message. If you really are interested, go and check out the Kickstarter and support something new, something innovative in the martial arts community. We don't see this as often, and I'm here to spread positivity. So check it out and support where you can. Catch you on the next one. Train hard, fight easy.